Alright, the weather's warming up, spring is here, and it's time to do my early October tour. Okay, I can actually do a tour this time because I have plants growing other than potatoes. Let's have a look at them. Alright, let's begin this tour, but I'm actually going to leave the potatoes till last. Alright, first up we got some tomatoes growing, but this year I'm going to be growing some yellow varieties. So over here we got a yellow pear. I've grown this in the past before, they're cute. Where is the label? Beams a yellow pear. So as you can see from the shape, they look like a pear. Yeah, cute little guys. So yeah, we have some flowers starting to bloom. Here we are. Got some more over here. Here we go. We got a dual tussle there. That's good. Yeah, so this one's growing nice and healthy. And over here, we got yellow Jubilee. Whoops, not Jubilee. Yellow Jubilee. Yeah, so this is like a normal sized tomato that you see at the store. Medium large. So yeah, this one is growing well. I think it's curling up from too much feed, like it's growing, trying to grow too fast. This one has 2 stems, so the feed is stable enough for this plant. Might be a bit too much for this plant, but I'm trying to keep it to 1 stem because I've seen that's what people do with tomatoes, especially the big ones. But yeah, we got some flowers here, they're blooming. So looking forward to that. We got some more. And over here, I'm going to be planting these. So these are winged bean. I was able to grow one last year, but yeah, all the other times I haven't been like properly looking after it. But this time I will look after it properly. We've got the, you know, its own dedicated space, so we should get some nice beans growing. This is too short for it, but we'll manage somehow. Alright, so I harvested the potatoes from this bed a couple of days ago, and I've now prepared it for the popcorn. Alright, here's the teaser for the upcoming winter potato harvest. Nice big tubers. Alright, so I'm growing some new varieties of popcorn in this bed. We got mini blue popcorn and mini strawberry popcorn. Yeah, so they're both mini, so the cobs are like this small, but it can grow up to 3 to 5 per plant. So yeah, despite being small, these should match the yellow one in terms of weight. But yeah, since I'm planting 2 varieties of corn in this bed, to prevent cross-pollination, this is what I'll be doing. We're planting the mini strawberry here, the red ones first. So we got a couple of rows here. So we're gonna let these grow out first for maybe 2 weeks, and then after 2 weeks we're going to be planting the other corn variety in this bed. So with the 2-week advantage for this one, hopefully by the time the tassels for this are exhausted, the silk for that one, that variety over there, comes out, so they shouldn't be able to cross-pollinate. But this year I'm going down from 4 plants per row to 3. This way they shouldn't end up overcrowded, because last year's one was pretty overcrowded. I'll do the 0.6 camera. But yeah, that's the height. Crazy, crazy, crazy. If I'm going to do this next year, I think I'll reduce one because it's like 4 in each row. And yeah, it is slightly overcrowding. At night, this kind of looks like a mini bamboo forest. And I would like to get at least more than 3 cobs per plant for both varieties. So this should help. Also, the gap between the 2 varieties, we want it to be a little bit bigger because with a 2-week advantage, by the time these start to sprout, these are probably going to be like this height already, and those roots would be pretty close by already. But yeah, giving it some more space, we should prevent the plants fighting over nutrients with the 2-week difference. But I'm pretty excited to try these 2 new varieties. I might be harvesting it with some friends that may or may not go up on YouTube, so we'll see. Also, make sure to check which corn variety grows taller. They both grow pretty much the same, but I think the red popcorn has a taller average than the blue popcorn, so we planted that first. Alright, let's go over the fruit trees. So here is my Washington Navel Orange, and it's starting to bloom with some nice flowers here. So yeah, these should grow well. I think there's a lot more flowers than last year. And next to this, we got our Asian pear. Now this one only flowered a few flowers last year, but now it's in abundance. So yeah, last year I only got 1 fruit from this, and it was a tiny fruit actually, but I'm excited for this year and see how many fruits I can get this time. And we got the mango starting to grow. I love the deep red for the baby leaves. So yeah, we got a lot of flowers growing here. You can see the baby fruit up close, if I can get up close to it. Oh, is that twinning? I think that's twinning. There's another one there. There we go. Ooh, cute little mango babies. Baby mangoes, I mean. So yeah, I think we got about 8 to 9 fruits from this plant in a 110-liter pot, so that's nice. It's one of my favorites to eat, the mango, so I'm looking forward to some good fruits. And over here we have my avocado flowering. We've got a ton of flowers growing. So last year I finally officially harvested my first avocados. I think there was around 3 fruits. They were a nice size. I had to look up a lot of information when to harvest them because they're a more difficult plant to pick at the right time. But I think I did well, and there's information on the labeling anyway. But yeah, they were pretty good. I think I just needed to give it another week or so. But yeah, they were perfect avocados to eat. Although the condition of the plant, I don't know, I feel like it's getting worse each year. I think it really wants a bigger space to grow. Like, I try not to overwater this during winter, but I think I let it dry out too much. Because I swear, these leaves are up and then they wilt. I check the soil, it's dry. Then each time they recover, they get less and less higher until they're just like this. I think they should recover fine each season. We got the bananas, they're starting to recover. But I think for the one in the pot, yeah, I don't know if I already mentioned this in a previous vlog or not. These will be the last stems on this pot. So the mother plant was planted in the middle. But yeah, this always extends outwards and, you know, it's gonna warp the pot way too much. So I think, yeah, I'll let this fruit, cut it off, make sure there's no pups around. I'll do the same for this, and then I'll clear the pot and add a new banana pup in the middle, so it kind of restarting it. The bananas in the ground are starting to recover as well. Got some nice new leaves growing. Yeah, this is recovering too. Can't wait for this to fruit because it's in the ground, so it should produce a lot more bananas. And over here I transplanted my calamansi into a larger pot. So a lot of flowers growing here. So yeah, I think this is a 90-liter, not 110. But yeah, this is finally in a pot, and we got some nice flowers here next to it. Here's my other mango in a pot. Yeah, last year was when we officially... Not last year. Was it last year? I officially moved this into a larger pot. Either the middle of last year or the end of, you know, the warm season. So now we should actually get fruits from this plant here. But yeah, since it's in a bigger pot, this should be growing into a big plant now too. So I have my grapes over here. These are starting to fruit. This is the one I moved. Yeah, I moved it over here because this was starting to grow into the garden bed where I was doing my giant sweet potato attempt. So instead of me shoveling around the garden bed regularly just to keep the roots away, I just moved this plant over here. Yeah, we got some nice flowers forming. These ones here are starting to grow as well. We got some flowers there. There we go. This one has a nice vigor growth, and it's finally fruiting again after not fruiting last year for some reason. Where did they go? There we go. Yeah, for some reason last year it had no fruits at all. Oh, there's another one. And I'm pretty sure I trimmed it right. Like, you know, leave the sting for the 1 year stem for it to flower on, because I do that for the rest of my grapes. So I don't know what happened here, but it seems to be fruiting again, so that's good. And over here we got the stone fruits growing. They have finished flowering, and let's have a look what they've got. So over here we got the peach, and it's growing a lot of fruits. Is it focusing? Yeah, there we go. Ooh, over here there's a lot. So yeah, this was transplanted into a larger pot, but at the end of the season. So hopefully now this should fruit a lot more. I think it produced maybe over 9 peaches, and they were quite delicious. So I'm hoping now the trees should get bigger and produce a lot more peaches. Over on the side, we got a nectarine and another nectarine. Now these did produce fruits last year, but the fruit flies got to them first before I got to cover them. So we lost them all. Basically, I was able to cover the peaches in time because they're larger, but I didn't cover the nectarines in time because they're still smaller. Oh, here's a good size nectarine. That's actually good. But yeah, these were smaller, so I didn't cover them yet. But by the time, once the weather gets warm enough, that's when the fruit flies start to come out. Because I didn't cover this in time, by the time the fruit flies came out, they pretty much infected all my fruits. Well, the nectarine. But yeah, I think this one here looks good. It will grow, so I should cover this now. And over to this garden bed, we have some more corns growing. So this one was actually transplanted because I had a few issues in this garden bed. So yeah, I had a lot of grubs and mole crickets in this bed. And even though I cleared it out, I just wanted to make sure none of my corns get damaged, so I wanted to grow them outside of this garden bed to establish a proper root system first. But yeah, it's been a few days since transplanting and they look great, so no issues. They're all pretty firm, so there seems to be no more crickets left in this bed, which is pretty good. And just a few more popcorns growing in some pots. Over in this one too, these are transplanted. Now it's time to check out the spring potatoes. They're growing quite well, so let's have a look at them. Alright, first one up, we got Desiree here, and look how massive this is. It's 3 seeds in a 50-liter pot. It's grown so wide, which is good. That's what I'm after. And it's the first ones to be flowering. Look at those gorgeous flowers. So I've got those flowers. So yeah, these are going really good. It's bushy, it's lush, lots of leaves, a lot of stems as well. That's what I'm aiming for. Although a little taller would be nice, but this is good enough. Now here's one that's growing magnificent. This one is Ruby Lou. And this one is a tall one for sure. Now look at the stems on this. You can see it. Look at it. If you can see it, that stem climbing all the way up. And yeah, it's only starting to flower now. I can see the height difference already from the Desiree and the Ruby Lou. So yeah, this one's definitely a large potato, a tall one. Like if we look at this one plant particularly, like look how many stems are growing from this. It's a lot. It's a big plant right here. And this potato here we have Red Royal. This one seems to be a shorter plant because this one here and then that one too, they're both like oval potatoes, but this must be the smaller ones and that must be the larger one. Anyway, yeah, these ones are a lot shorter. This one's starting to flower. Ooh, I don't think this doesn't look like a dark purple flower, but that's alright. Yeah, it's growing decently. Not too big. These ones here are actually a replacement, that and that. Because the original ones were like really tiny, and when I went to dig them out, the seed potato have rotten away as well. Same with this one. This is a transplant, this big one here, because it wasn't growing properly at all. Because I don't think it actually popped out of the soil. So yeah, I replaced it with this guy here. And onto the last one in the 50-liter pot. This is Red Lady. So the same as this one. It's a red oval potato. Yeah, so this one grew quite nice, decent, good height. Didn't think it wanted the flower at all. There's none of these produce any flower. Like there's that, but that's it. So yeah, this one's doing okay, decent size. But out of all the 50-liter pots, the red varieties, this is the one I'm looking forward to the most. I might get a giant one from this one possibly. Now for the potatoes growing in a tower-like structure, we have King Edward here. So it's doing okay. It's not that big. The seeds were a bit too old. That's probably why the quality isn't great. I was planning to add a second bag, which I still technically can with the height. But I think judging by the size of the plant, it's small. It's a bit skinny. It's like you compare to it's not the greatest thing. I'll just leave it with one bag. Yeah, it's starting to flower, which is good. I still need it to grow a lot more leaves so I can get something good here. So yeah, the other one is planted directly directly on the soil. This one is planted a little below the soil, so we should see most of the harvest in here for this one as well. All the potatoes should be in this section up here. This one here, we lost it because I think too much stress. It became vulnerable to virus or disease. It just couldn't like recover from it, so replace it with a sweet potato slip. Oh yeah, if you notice, I put white plastic on these potatoes. This will protect the soil from getting too hot. Now these should be harvested before we get to the middle of summer, but just in case, I do want to keep the soil temperature a bit lower, because if the soil temperature gets too hot, your tubers actually stop growing. Yeah, that's mainly if you're planting towards summer, you should actually worry about. Early spring should be okay, but again, I want to make sure I get the best possible tubers, so I'll do whatever it takes. Looks ugly, but again, I'm here growing food, not trying to put a show on for people. Also, another thing I noticed, potatoes growing in a hotter soil, they tend to have less color. I remember, for example, my royal blue potatoes, when they're grown in winter, their purple is really gorgeous, but the royal blue potatoes grown in summer, they don't look great. Like the color looks off, so the heat does affect the color too. And since I'm growing red potatoes, mainly red ones in these 50-liter pots. I want the colors to retain. Well, I want as much of its color to be retained. So yeah, so I ended up planting some of the backup potatoes that looked good. I had some spare soil in a spare pot, so I've got a rubeliu growing here. Over here I planted the rest of the backup desiree, which I didn't end up using any of them, so I have 3 of them planted here. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Hello. Yeah, that's pretty much it for the spring potatoes. They're gonna be good. I'm looking forward to them. Now on to the sweet potatoes. These are starting to grow nicely. But we're gonna go for a bit different this year. I don't know if you noticed, but I'm growing these in a tower structure. This one is 3 bags high. So 1, 2, 3, and we've got the pot. Over with this one is 2 bags high, including the pot. And this one is 1 bag high. So yeah, the whole purpose of this is to try and get a really long root going. Now, I don't know if this is gonna work out or not, but that's the whole point of gardening. You want to experiment. And if this works, I'm gonna be doing this every year. I do think the 2 tower bag is the best one here. I think the 3 one is a bit excessive. I don't think it's gonna use the entirety of the pot. Like, not just the roots to harvest, like just the roots in general, feeder roots. The single bag tower, this will do fine, will perform normal. And I am using the pots that are already being cracked, so just in case the roots go here again and they expand too much, I don't have to cut it, it's already pre-cut. And over here we got my new giant attempt for this year, the orange variety. We're now planting it in this bed. So it's an orange one. We added extra level here for extra growing space. I was thinking of just doing a big hill, but if it ends up drying accidentally, a lot of water will just be falling off the hill. Like, it won't be absorbed, so I did it this way. But yeah, we'll see how this goes. Will I get a new record or not? We'll find out. If you want to see my previous attempts, here they are on the screen. This might be bigger than that, maybe. Let's have a look around. I think I'm gonna take some more pictures first before I continue recording. God, I'm struggling to hold it up here like this. Oh, I hope I'm in proper frame for this. God, this is bigger than my head. Alright, I think that's enough digging. Let's see what we've got here. Oh, where are you? Oh, no. The biggest sweet potato for this attempt. Side view. And the front side. So yeah, let's hope I can break a new record this year with this potato plant. So last year I did do 3 attempts, but we only harvested 2 because my 3rd attempt is actually still growing. So the other giant attempts I already harvested were the purple skin and orange skin. The reason why I didn't harvest this plant is because during winter, this plant was still green. It had some, oh here it is. It had some redding, or like the leaves were turning red from the cold, so it was cold stress. But the plant was not turning yellow, so it wasn't done, like its life cycle was not done. And I think I figured out something. The world record for the giant sweet potato is a white variety. This is a white variety. And the longer you leave a sweet potato in the ground, the larger it can possibly get. Now, there's no record on how long the world record holder, how long his plant has been growing. But if it's the same variety as this one, I can see why. This will last through winter and continue to grow into the next season. So technically, this is probably around 400 days old. It was 300 around July. Say we're close to 400 days old, and it's regrowing again. So the roots that are already in the ground, we do have a giant one here, but I can't really show it. There's a giant one here and a few roots there. If the plant continues to put in energy and size into the current giant root, then I might get something like a 15 to 20 kilo potato root. But there's also a chance for it to be rotting away because near the end of winter, this lost a lot of leaves and it's been raining a lot. So there's a possibility I actually lose a giant, but it's a gamble I'm willing to take. But yeah, so we got some nice growth going here. Oh. Yeah, so we got some nice growth going here. The plant is alive again, it's kicking. So we already have a head start, a big head start. Instead of just a slip like this that's slowly growing, this plant already has a big advantage already. It's got so much foliage to grow. It should start to, yeah, it will take over quite early and it should start putting energy into the roots earlier than this giant attempt. So yeah, look forward to those. And the other sweet potatoes I'm growing in the center of the garden, we got a white one going in a mulch bag, which should be 50 liters. It's the same Same size as that. This one should be good. And the other bags here, I haven't got the variety yet. It should be available now. Yeah, this one will be harvested separately. This is actually a sand mix for this one here. This one on the opposite side too. It's in a larger bag. This is sand mix too. So we're going to be seeing how clean the harvest is, and I guess how the roots will grow in a 40% sand mixture. What other things do I have? I have garlic over here. These are growing. These are good actually. They didn't look good at the start. But yeah, there's only 4 plants here, but yeah, it should be good size garlic. Over here I planted some new carrots. Before this was carrots as well. It was orange for the winter variety. So for summer I'm doing Purple Sun F1 and Harlequin, which is a mix of different colored carrots. Now I don't remember which variety is which, but this one here is performing the best. And now let's check out the remaining winter potatoes that are still growing. So these ones here should be, I think, between 90 to 100 days. So we've got a good chunk of its growing cycle done. So we've got Pontiac, White Star. And here's the winter potatoes and these beds here. So this one here is a nice sized Pontiac plant, growing very nicely. We could get a giant from this one. Then we got Rodeo over here. He still has a decent amount of foliage. And then the last one in this bed is a White Star. All the White Stars look a bit stressed. I don't know, but yeah. Now moving on to this bed, we have the king of potatoes here. This guy is my biggest plant here, and not only just big, it like generally feels like a large plant. It's been losing some leaves due to the heat stress, but as you can see that's one plant right there. I can plant this in the middle of the garden bed. So yeah, I originally thought this was a Rodeo, but it's actually a Pontiac, which is even better. I might surpass 1 kilo, like for a tuber. I might be able to grow a 1 kilo tuber from this plant. Possibly, this has the highest potential. Now let's have a little peek. I have these because the neighbor's cat keeps coming and trying to poop everywhere. Oop. Yeah, we've got some good tubers here. Over there. So yeah, we got that going. So all the remaining winter potatoes, they should be around the same age, 90 to 100 days. So yeah, that's the winter potatoes over here. And here's the rest of the winter potatoes on these beds. These ones are actually, I think, 120 days old. I forgot to harvest it with this one, but it's okay because the condition, it's very green. But not only that, it's in a different bed. The reason why I harvested this one early, I did want to leave it to 140 days, but one of the plants started to sprout, and that's an indication that the rest of the potatoes here in this bed might sprout as well. So I just ended up harvesting them all. But these potatoes that are the same age are in a different bed, and I think these are planted a lot deeper, so the soil should be a lot colder. So I think I'm safe to leave these. But yeah, that should have been harvested with these. I just forgot about it. Oh yep, and these two here are Pontiacs. Oh, and I forgot to say, that one there's a White Star. Yeah, White Star Pontiac. Now over here, we got 3 plants as well in this garden bed. This one here is Rodeo, White Star, and Pontiac. Yeah, they grow the largest. It's nice. It's still got gorgeous leaves growing. No signs of disease or viruses. We do have some burning up because, again, these are grown in winter, but I did plant these quite late, and these sprouted quite late as well. So they're not tackling the heat as much, so they are burning up. But that's okay. But yeah, I'm looking forward to harvesting, I think, the Pontiacs. I'm looking forward to harvesting the Pontiacs in each bed because they've grown the biggest. Like, this is the biggest plant here. It's a Pontiac. The king of potatoes is a Pontiac, and then the one at the end over there is a Pontiac. And this one too, Pontiac. So yeah, it's going to be the middle or end of October before I harvest these. And these potatoes over here in the center, these are almost ready to harvest. They're pretty weathered out, as you can see. These are for its own video. You'll see it coming up soon. Yeah, I think these are pretty much good. Middle of October, I should be able to harvest these. But yeah, this one is an experimental video, so look out for that. Oh, these potatoes in a double stacked pot. These are also the winter crops potatoes. They didn't grow as big as I expected to. Got another one here. And the other one here. Oh yeah, so Rodeo, Pontiac, White Star. And over here we got these potatoes over here. The wind keeps blowing this off. So yeah, so that plant, this plant, that plant here, and this plant over here. These are sapphire potatoes. These are a dark purple skin with a purple and white flesh. I think we have one popping out here, so we can have a look. So yeah, kind of looks black as well when it's dry. So when you're harvesting this, it's kind of hard to see them if they're not big. But yeah, I think they should be reaching 100 days as well. So they're close to harvesting. This one here is growing in a 50-liter pot with one giant seed, and it grew so many sprouts. I'm excited to see how many potatoes I'll be getting from this. And I do have some flowers to showcase, but I think I'll wait till tomorrow when we have our sunlight back. Alright, it's the next day. We got some sunlight. Here we have some beautiful salvia. The blue-banded bees love this a lot. There's no blue-banded bees yet, but once they've come around, they should be flying all over these flowers. Yeah. Last year, they just kept coming back to this. You can get them pretty cheap too. Lots A color, sell them, and they're like $2 each. Just gotta make sure you just these leaves and then this flower top. Yeah, so I'm gonna transfer this one and this one into a pot once I've harvested some more potatoes. But yeah, I highly recommend growing this. It's a must for the bees. And if you want to keep some blue-banded bees around, make them a mud house. So this is literally a solid block of mud. I used to put bamboo sticks here. That wasn't working for the other solitary bees, so I just used mud instead. So these are pre-made holes, and it took a while, but then the blue-banded bees started to notice this, and they started using it. I don't know if you can see. If you can see inside, there you go. If you can see the soil inside, the loose soil, that's them, and they've created that hole. They've tried to chip that away. That's their hole too. And here you got some mud. So they removed all that. Another example of a mud block they're using. This one only has 2 pre-made holes, but as you can see, they made their own. Many others. I think at the back too. Yeah, there's like holes. But yeah, this is what blue-banded bees like. They need a mud house. So I still recommend using the normal bee house. You can attract some leaf cutters, other types of solitary bees, and solitary wasps as well. Yeah, I just have more of these in random locations. As you can see, they've been... Nope, they made that. These are pre-made holes. But yeah, they use it and it attracts more of them. Now you can go make your own aesthetically pleasing one if you want. Just remember, it has to be mud, not soil. And a combo of salvia. If you haven't had bumblebees around, you should get them soon. Hopefully, if they have to be around your location at least. And over here, these are Sweet William flowers. Now these guys don't get too large, so I am letting them live in the fruit trees. These were like the salvia. I would have removed them after the first year, but they seem to be low maintenance. I mean, this seems to be getting large, but its roots are not going to grow at the bottom of the pot. Yeah, these are nice, beautiful flowers. Also from Lot of Colors, I got them, $2. So these aren't that they don't really attract any bees or insects. On a rare occasion, I've only seen like a bee or two. This is just nice to have colors around. Like, look at that flower. It's pretty gorgeous, the patterns. And this one I just bought recently. These are like a giant version. But yeah, I like them. They're nice. So, Sweet Williams. And over here, being shaded by the salvia, we got this one, Argyrathemum. Yeah, it's a nice flower. Tiny pink flowers. And over here, we got some lavender. These are producing flowers nicely. So these are a great attraction for bees, honeybees, they love this, and other solitary bees. So I think this one's just your standard type. I had labels, but then I lost them all. But yeah, these are always a nice touch in the garden, so I do recommend growing these. They smell very nice as well. And the other lavender plant over here. Oh, I think we have a bee. Here we go. We have a bee. It's in the shade though. Another one here. Okay, so this one you can see it's a bit different. The top's a bit smaller. Okay, this one's a nice lavender plant. And here's another lavender. I think this one's called the French lavender. You can see the leaves, not the leaves, the flowers. Here's the leaves. Yeah, they're a bit different from your typical lavender. That's what that looks like. And these are the flowers. So yeah, this one's a pretty one. But here's all 3 lavenders. So this one's your common one, I think. And then another one, a different variation, and then the French lavender. Yeah, I forgot. These had names, I just forgot. The labels are gone, basically. But here's a comparison between them. I think these two have a long stem. This one has a short stem. I do have this one, but I don't know the name for it. The Lots of Color are cheap. They're $2, but they don't have labels. So I think I found it out recently, but then I just forgot. But yeah, let's see how this turns into, if the bees like it or not. Now, this one's not really a flowering plant. This is actually rosemary, but it's highly attractive to honeybees. There we go. Yeah, they got cute little flowers. Yeah, the bees like it. If you can grow, this one's beneficial in both ways. You can eat it, and you can attract some bees. We got a few more flowers over here. So we have my butterfly bushes here. They're not flowering yet. They flower in the around summer or the end of spring. So I gave these a trim at the end of the season once we're going into winter. And here's all the new growth. This one I highly recommend as well. It attracts butterflies. Like, even if I don't really have that many butterflies in my area, but if they were to go to a flower, it's this one. Hence the name butterfly bush. And the solitary bees love it too. So yeah, this one just finished, but this is also a butterfly bush, but it flowers in winter. I think the label's like stuck and it's gone. But yeah, butterfly bush, a winter type. It's the long, really long white one, skinny white one. Yeah. So these flower in the middle to end of winter, and the honeybees really love this one. I have these here growing at the back. I forgot they're called. I think, are they African daisies? I think so. Yeah, this is something we've had growing for many years, maybe over 20 years maybe. It's just a plant that the seeds just kept getting moved house to house, or we took the plant and then every time the seed spreads, it just grows nicely. This one I did keep and it's growing well, so we have the bees like it. It's not that attractive. I've seen my fair share of the tiny solitary bees, so this is good to have. And at the back, it's got my good old compost bin. It's junk, obviously. Yeah, so that's going good. Other one over here. This one I have to break it down a bit more because I use a lot of larger chunks, twigs and wood. Most of the softer material have broken down, but not the big ones, so it's a bit chunky in a way. Oh, and I have a pineapple. This one overwintered, so it should continue to grow now. The location isn't the best, but it got to this point halfway before it turned winter. This looks like a decent size. It'll grow nice. It'll probably grow this size. So I got a nice pineapple growing and can't wait to eat it. So I just recently harvested the taros. I actually do have a cooking video coming up right after this tour, so look out for that with the taros. But yeah, so these were the, what's the name? I'm just gonna call them pups. They have a name for it, but I'll just call them pups for now. That's not the right name. But I transferred all the new ones, dug them nice and deep and planted them, so they didn't have any roots, and heat just kind of kicked all the existing leaves, but it's still alive. We have a new leaf forming with the new roots growing. This one's one of the older taros, so this one is technically ready to harvest. I can leave it. We're not using anything with taros at the moment. Same with this one. I just harvested the mother corm, so these are its babies. They should be big enough to pick. Yeah, I can just leave these in the ground as well. And further down we got some more taro. So these should grow nice and big. These take a long time. You're looking at 200 to 400 days before a harvest. But you have to plant these deep. You can't plant them shallow. They're not going to get a good taro root. It has to be if you're buying a big one and you know it's a big one, plant it deep. And over here, the lemongrass is just starting to flower. I just have these in pots, but obviously the roots are in the ground. Over here we got some roses. The only reason I kept this and planted it in the backyard, because this was originally in the front yard, was to supply some leafcutter solitary bees. Maybe 4 years ago they used to use a leaf, but I think I just lost that species. I haven't seen any leaves being cut in the last couple of years. But yeah, I just keep it anyway in case they do come back and use it, unless they're farming someone else's roses. But yeah, and here's another thing. I don't know if you can see all the aphids here. Now these aphids are just mainly around the roses, and I used to squish them, but the good thing is if you leave them to infestate, you're gonna start to have ladybug larvae and hoverfly larvae, and they're gonna start eating these guys. So yeah, I used to squish all of them, but it's now beneficial if you leave it. It's okay if they don't go anywhere else. These guys just stay on my roses. Oh, there's a bug right there. Yeah, so I'm okay to leave these guys, the aphids, on the roses as long as they're not spreading to other plants in the garden. Once the infestation gets out of hand, you're gonna get a lot of larvae from the lady beetles and hoverfly. Where'd it go? So yeah, I think the lady beetle was hunting for food and also scouting the location. But yeah, that's a good sign already that we have some. Oh, speaking of leafcutter bees, look at this. Alright, so they're active this year. That's good. Oh, and look, we have a hoverfly larvae over here. Interesting little guy. And if you look below it, that is a mummified, if I can focus, that's a mummified aphid. Also one underneath the leaf. Yeah, so the mummified aphid is caused by a tiny wasp. Those I think they call it minute wasp because they're so tiny. So yeah, parasitic wasp, keeping the aphids under control. Is that that's the parasitic wasp? Wasn't expecting to see one on film. Oh, so these are where those solitary bees are. It's these guys. It's hard to see, but they're making these holes in the ground. Okay, I think you can see it on the camera, but they just have a community here. Oh, and that going inside is an Australian stingless solitary bee. And we still have our giant sweet potatoes over here. I don't know, I just feel like keeping it, to be honest. I don't want to cook it. But it is starting to grow again. Yeah, it's starting to sprout. I wonder if I can keep this for the Easter show. I wonder if they'll accept it. The Easter show is going to be April or March next year. Now, let's see the conditioning. I could enter this technically for the Easter show. We could do that, yeah. There's still quite a lot of sweet potatoes I have, so, you know, these are smaller ones, are easier to cook and cut. So unless I ran out of sweet potatoes, we're just gonna keep these. And then, yeah, I think Easter show might be a good use for these to show it off. But yeah, I think that's it for the tour. Yeah, I couldn't really do any tours in winter because literally all I had growing was potatoes, literally. But yeah, I have lots of different plants growing again, so tours can now resume. Anyway, thanks for watching the video and I hope you enjoyed. It's crazy. It's not. Here we go. Whew.